Sometimes you have to unlearn what you learned as a kid when you become an adult. Most recently for me, it was this concept of washing your clothes. I never really knew the concept of washing my clothes. I knew you're supposed to. Nobody taught me how, when, how much. Just throw it in laundry. Yeah, might have to separate your whites from your colored, but if you wash on cold, it's not usually as big an issue. Read some stuff about dry cleaning saying usually it's necessary, you could just get around it. Don't worry about it, not a big deal. Plus, I don't have fancy clothes like that anyways. But recently I've been realizing that, hey, how come my collars are sort of getting worn out? There's little sort of nicks on them. These are the collars on the dress shirts, the quote starch stiff collars. So I was thinking maybe I should turn the collars inside out so the inside gets damaged and you can't see it, or maybe I shouldn't wash them so much. I also got some more expensive socks recently. You know, I was looking at figuring out socks that don't sort of scrunch down in your feet. And my shoes aren't tight. I like looser shoes at work because, I'm on my feet a lot. And the question is, are there socks for one particular size? Because most socks say a range of 6 to 12, and, I'm 8 or 7.5. And yeah, I guess I'm within that range, but they're obviously, not my size. They're usually too big. And if you go to any normal store, they don't have socks with one particular size. But in searching online, I found that they do make socks. Brooks Brothers has them. But those are all expensive places, right? So they recommend a place called Vissel, which is based in Turkey, and they ship from Turkey, so it may take a while. And that's one thing I don't like is when I decide to buy something and you don't get it immediately, right? That's why Amazon's so successful. Because even with Newegg, I was trying to look for something tech. And it's like, yeah, their prices were good, and I like Newegg, but it's gonna take so long to ship here. 4 to 7 days for standard free shipping. Oh, Amazon will get here in 2. So I bought some socks, and I realized that some of them fit very well. There are these things called calf high or over the calf. They go up to your knee, right below. They fit very well. They're very comfortable, almost feeling like nothing. But I have 2 different types. I got the mercerized cotton as well as the wool silk blend. And I was thinking, wow, why did I get so many mercerized cotton when this wool silk blend is so much better? And then looked at the invoice and realized, wow, the wool silk blend is $26. The mercerized cotton is like $13. I guess there's a little bit of a price difference. But then I also had to discover how to wash these. Because can I put them in a wash? I don't really have a washing machine. Is it safe to put them just into a normal washer and dryer, like at a laundromat? But wow, what if something goes wrong? These are awfully expensive. Just throw them in a wash and just machine wash. What detergent should I use? Wow, so for regular things, you have to sort of look at the sort of most delicate component to choose how to wash it, like silk blended with something else. But then as wool, then you look at wool, even though silk may be a bigger fraction. And then there's something about wool not being needed to wash so much because it's odor resistant naturally. If you wash, you may fade of fabrics or whatever. I decided to hand wash them and it took a long time. And instructions I read online said you just swish them around in some detergent water and don't put very much detergent in there. All things I would thought more detergent the better, right? More vigorous the better. But like, no, no, no. You're gonna damage the fibers if you do it too vigorously. Just swish them around. And then how do you dry them? Do you hang them? Do you put them in a dryer? And they said, no, 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 don't put them in a dryer. Just hang them with a good sort of air circulation. And I remember when I was in Germany at my friend's house, she was relatively rich and they had these meal washing machines and dryers. I was like, wow, fancy. Or is it Electrolux? And so, after washing my clothes, I was about to put it in dryer and asked her mom how to use it. She said, no, 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 you just go outside and hang it. And it was a sunny day, as in the sun was out, but it's a cold day and there's a brisk wind blowing. And I didn't know why, when you have a really good dryer, that you would just go and hang it. But I came back a few hours later and wow, it was great. It was starch. It's like, how they have those commercials and you have these laundry detergents, you have this wonderful fresh smell of clean air with the forest mixed in and some grass maybe and flowers. It was like that. So I sort of laid them out and dried them. And yeah, they're dry. But as we grow older, as society gets more technologically advanced, we realize that it's not all about us. It's also sometimes about the environment. So it's not about me and sort of ease of use, but sometimes maybe it's about keeping the clothes a little bit longer. There's all these things out now to keep your clothes longer. Woolite comes out with a darks version that makes it so that you could keep the color in your dark clothes like jeans for longer so they don't fade. Saving things, not just throwing them away. I did buy some new dress shirts, but I was like, hey, what if I just keep my old dress shirts longer? Do I have to wash them after every single wear? I mean, I have an undershirt on, right? I'm just at work, not like I'm exercising or something. But then I guess there's also the question of bathing. Do we have to bathe every day? Well, all I learned is my parents never made me bathe every day. When we were little, we just bathed once a week before going to church on Sunday, so we bathed on Saturday. We hated bathing. But in middle school, my friend Eric got ridiculed for not showering every day. He also didn't change his clothes, but neither did I. But he also probably smelled, and I didn't smell, as far as I knew. Nobody made fun of me. But after seeing him being ridiculed, I decided I'm going to shower every day. Well, what if you change your clothes and you don't smell? What if you don't change your clothes and you don't smell? Is it just social norms, social conventions? Which do change over time. Animals don't bathe. I was reading about a man who decided to not bathe and sort of coat himself with these bacteria that live on animals. He said after a month, he made sure to ask everybody around if he smelled, and he didn't. His skin had a new luster. He felt wonderful. But he ended up stopping. I'm not sure why. Some people say after sweating you need a shower. My mom showers multiple times a day if she's in Taiwan and it's hot and humid and she sweats because she's outdoor walking. But a cheetah sweats, obviously, when you're running 70 miles per hour, you're going to sweat. But I presume it doesn't smell, not that I've been close by. There was something called a no poo movement, to not shampoo every day. Rather to not use shampoo at all. I know lots of ladies don't use shampoo all the time. It's too much work, too hard. And they have wonderful hair still. They say you have this luster in your hair after you let the natural oils come out. But the no poo movement says you can replace shampoo with other things that are more friendly, that don't get rid of oil, because oil is not bad. I guess it has this icky feeling, this sort of scratchy, itchy feeling. But the no poo movement uses other things to sort of get rid of that feeling. All these things that we learn that you're supposed to do, or all these things I think that I'm supposed to do because society wants it, do I have to do? Should I do? Maybe I should just rewear my clothes. Not every day, not 2 days in a row, because people notice it and think it's weird. Keep it in the closet, bring it out next week, give it a little bit of rotation so you're not wearing the same thing day after day. Do I have to wash everything all the time if it doesn't smell? I used to think this is all in the realm of, quote, weird. People who are socially awkward do these things a lot. I have a friend, when we were traveling in Costa Rica, she had a huge backpack with about a few pounds of something inside. We were backpacking for a month. Not backpacking as in hiking, but backpacking as in staying in hostels and stuff and carrying stuff around on a big backpack. But she wouldn't wash her clothes. And we're like, hey, you need to wash your clothes now? And she's like, oh, no, it's okay. She used the smell test. She just smell it. Doesn't smell? No need to wash. I remember when going through Nepal, our guide, Sonam, also didn't bring very many clothes. I mean, we're there hiking all day. We're very sweaty. He had like maybe 2 shirts. One shirt he would just wash sometimes because we see him hanging out, but not all the time. And I guess the other shirt's just a light shirt for, evenings, sleeping. I guess this is the idea of preservation. It used to be about ease of use. Throwing stuff away is disposable stuff. New stuff, that's easy. Throw in a little money aspect. I mean, shirts are cheap, 15, 20 bucks, 30, 40 bucks. You get them on sale. But should we just be throwing stuff away? It seems like such a waste. I have some stuff a little bit damaged. Do I just give it to Goodwill? I mean, do we have a thing to ship things to Africa? I know sometimes with old vehicles, you see the old school buses we used as a kid, the yellow school buses with those uncomfortable green seats that are just benches. Yeah, you'll see them in Central America. They use them as their public transportation. But maybe we shouldn't just get rid of stuff. Fixing stuff isn't so easy in America. Some stuff you learn to fix yourself, but otherwise it's very expensive. So we just throw it away and get new ones, but preserving stuff so you don't have to fix it so it stays in shape longer. Maybe that's something we're learning. Maybe if you look at a more advanced society, they already have it. And I don't know if Japan's a more advanced society, but they do preserve things much better. And maybe that's a good thing, and we should do it more.